Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, a man who watched 2 dramas filled with dance sequences and big city romance over the weekend, and he'll never do it again. It's Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I'm out. I'm good, but I'm out. I was cursing you a little bit after one of these movies.
Yeah, you are straight Shane in every way. I love the fact that you not only took the risk and watched both of these dramas that we're going to talk about, The Life of Chuck and Materialists, but you then admitted to me you had to palate cleanse yourself by making you and your kids watch Predator, Killer of Killers again to kind of I just imagined you going, motherfucking Andrew, god damn it, stupid romance garbage, whatever, and just being like, all right, I need to get this out of my system. I need something killed.
I need some beheadings. I need heads lopped off. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And then I hope, happy Father's Day to you and happy Father's Day to everybody, all the fathers out there. But I just picture you just on Sunday after going through such traumatic stuff, just falling asleep in a recliner watching TNT marathon of something like Tom Cruise-ish or MCU-ish, just to get yourself back in the groove. Not that that's not a delightful afternoon anyway.
Right. Yeah. No, it was a heavy weekend for me, movie going wise.
Yeah, I was all over the map, dude. We kind of talked about it off air, but Thursday night, Life of Chuck, which, we'll talk about that. That's kind of obviously, it's Mike Flanagan. He's very sentimental and likes a lot of humanity in his stuff and his Stephen King projects and everything, even if they involve horror, fantasy, or anything else. And then Friday, flipped the script, went and saw Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th in the woods in a campsite, which was delightful. Shout out to Milford Horror, my local movie horror group that puts on stuff like this. Between them, Connecticut Cult Classics, who showed Friday the 13th Part 5 beforehand. So it's a weird kind of double dip because it's reverse order. But who cares when you get to watch the OG in a proper way in the dark. So that was cool. And then, Saturday, I was telling you, I was watching French action movies with car chases and, things getting blown up. And then it goes right back into Materialists on Sunday after all the Father's Day festivities. So, a real emotional roller coaster. But that's what makes us us.
Yes.
So, which I still believe, I mentioned this to you off air, that I think we really need to do. This is a version of this, by the way, but I believe this is primer for us to do the movie swap.
Yes, absolutely. This was a little test run.
Yeah. Which is funny because one of the movies that I would have on a short list for you to watch probably would have been Past Lives. And now you're probably going to be like, I will fucking murder you if you're making me watch Materialists and then make me watch her previous movie. But I swear to God, it's a better movie. But we'll get there. But yes, let's get into it. We have 3 movies on the docket, not just Materialists and The Life of Chuck. But I did want to kind of lead off, Shane, with the Phoenician Scheme, a movie that you did not watch. I don't know if is it refused, because you said you enjoyed at least French Dispatch, but you did not enjoy Asteroid City, which I'm right there with you. But so I wanted to come into this one being open-minded, at least, to be he's not. Is he in every other? What is it diminishing returns? I had all these thoughts going into Phoenician Scheme, but you just are abandoning it, or you're just I'm not going to waste my time going to the theater.
Theater. I don't think. I think this is, and again, when you start talking about this movie, you could prove me wrong, but I just think it's one of those movies. Had I sat in the theater and saw, I would have been very upset. And combined with that, then what I went through with The Life of Chuck, I don't know if we'd be talking right now if I sat through both those.
Well, it's funny. I will save that comment for something later. But yes, I understand kind of what you mean. But so after watching this movie, I just want to say I believe I'm treating Wes Anderson movies like a horror franchise now, like a long-running franchise of some sort, almost MCU-ish, but like almost more like horror franchise, like a Halloween or something, because it's like, I know it's going to have the same look and feel, like almost some of the conversations we had with like Final Destination, where it's like they're the same movie practically, but like with just like, what's the wrinkle this time? And that's how I feel about Wes Anderson, because it's going to be that same kind of like, it almost has like a lot of the same actors over and over now. It has that same kind of look and feel to it. It has the same kind of like, he falls in love with, you know, kind of almost this like diorama come to life shooting with a lot of detail, cool cinematography, like French New Wave inspired, but also feels like a stage play, a little bit kind of stuff. Like he just keeps having the same aesthetic over and over, to where some people are just getting fed up. I saw some of the people coming out of the premiere at Cannes, and they were just like, this is the same thing. Like, I don't even know why you're asking me if I like it or not. It's like, it's the same movie over and over. Like, literally, people are just like infuriated. I'm not quite there, but I am treating it like that almost in a way where I'm like, this is my expectation. And then, what's the wrinkle? Did I enjoy the wrinkle? And the wrinkle in this case is basically that it's a fun enough farce with people getting blown up, assassination attempts, plane crashes, like some stuff where you would actually kind of enjoy. And there's like this running gag with Benicio del Toro's character giving away hand grenades as like a nice thing when he meets dignitaries. It's very funny. It's good stuff. Michael Cera is so good and steals a lot of scenes. Like, everybody had that thought, I think, when the trailer came out, of like, how has Michael Cera not been in a Wes Anderson movie before? And now it seems like he should be in every single one of them. But like, I almost wonder if he's too Wes Anderson, that like he's just gonna steal every movie. But I want to see it. I care. I hope he's part of the troupe going forward. Like Tom Hanks, Riz Ahmed, and Benedict Cumberbatch, all in this movie, have now kind of joined that troupe now, and I'm all for it. Scarlett Johansson, I didn't even realize that she was in this movie. She was in Asteroid City, of course. So like, she's now been in multiple movies. So we keep adding and adding and adding, but like, everybody loves it. As far as like, he keeps getting these top-notch names for his low-budget kind of movies that he makes, and that's great. I will say this is better than Asteroid City. I would watch it again, and I think it's just an enjoyable little movie. There's not much to take from it, because it's like kind of like an adventure comedy, but not in any style that you would ever think. And it's a little too weird and a little too big to like completely put your arms around it all the time, but it's enjoyable enough to just follow along. So I just don't think he's ever going to hit that high note again. But I'm okay if he keeps in this register. I mean, it's got a 3.6 on Letterboxd. I'd probably give it a soft 3.5. So like, it is right around that. The only problem is, how long is he going to be able to keep doing this? Because Phoenician Scheme is currently sitting at 27 million worldwide. Asteroid City made 53, and I thought that was kind of a step down again, obviously from French Dispatch. So I don't know how big his audience is, and the audience that will keep coming back so he can keep doing this.
Right. So how do you think I would have reacted to the movie in the theater while watching this?
I think it would have been fine.
Okay.
I think it would have been fine, because there's not anything too heady, too grandiose, too outlandish, too boring, any of that. Like, and I think you would have genuinely enjoyed Michael Cera's turn in this.
Okay. And I'll be honest with you, this is the first time this happened to me too. And this is like a big deterrent. I never do this. I'm the type of person that doesn't read reviews. I don't like get on Rotten Tomato before I go into a movie, because I don't want to be like just, recently biased or pushed in one direction.
Sure.
It just so happened I saw a headline of like, I think what you mentioned, at Cannes or some festival, where people just walked out of the theater. And I'm like, well, if they left mad and walked out, I'm like, I have no shot.
And that's literally like his home turf. Like, he brings all his movies to Cannes, like to premiere there.
And I think that's the first time I let a headline sway me in my ultimate decision to see it in the theater. But I think you've given me enough there
Yeah.
Where maybe on a slow week, if it's still out in the theater, I'll go ahead and catch it before it gets out of the theater.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's everything right now. I wonder what the commitment is. Right. How long can it do this? He keeps putting them out in the summer, which I wonder if that's also a problem.
I was just about to mention that when you said when you're going over his runs, his box office runs. Like, don't you think this would be better suited for like a fall release or a early year release? Maybe not summertime when you got your Mission Impossibles and How to Train Your Dragons and Lilo and Stitch and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because he's turning into a niche, right? And at least, like, there's other niche directors that have now pivoted to, like, I'll just put myself out in August where there's not that level of competition but still be summerish. So that way my college student, kind of audience that, perpetually goes to these movies or something, or those type of people, teacher, whatever, like these heady educational types or whatever that go to Wes Anderson, I'll go see them in, when there's nothing going on. Like I've probably already gone on vacation in July or whatever, or end of June, and there's no holidays coming around. Like, don't fight with, Labor Day or any of those things. Just stick it in August, let it ride, and go from there. Like, the fact that they do these platform releases at a time when, maybe they're still counter programming, but, it sometimes gets you swallowed up. And I'll say 27 million is actually not that bad when you consider some of the numbers that I'm about to say with some of these other movies. Although Materialists is actually doing kind of well. So we'll get there. For that type of movie, I wonder if it's just the three-headed monster of that movie is helping. But Phoenician Scheme, I would say, like I said, soft 3.5, a recommendation if you're a Wes Anderson person. I actually started doing my own, because you know me. I started doing my Wes Anderson rankings.
No.
Yeah. And I think, it's like anything now is still just going to be in the middle, because I think he's already hit his peak. And I think the last high mark movie I gave of it, like, again, French Dispatch is probably a very enjoyable 3.5, 4, somewhere around there. But Isle of Dogs got really high scores, but that's not like my generation. Right. So it's probably Grand Budapest era is probably the last where I was like, high mark. So, and that's a while now.
That's a while.
So we'll see, man. But he's going to keep doing this. So I'll keep going to him. I don't care, because that is what I do. Let's go to Life of Chuck, buddy.
Okay, let's hit this one first.
Because I want to hear from you first. Because A Life of Chuck is a very interesting movie. This is based on Stephen King and his probably like not so secret admirer and constant adapter. There you go. Constant adapter of his work over the years. Mike Flanagan is at it again, this time doing one that is not more horror steeped or any of those, even though that's what Flanagan is probably largely known for. Probably hit the high note with Dr. Sleep as far as like Stephen King stuff, and then is obviously known probably to a larger audience with his Netflix miniseries, Haunting of Hill House, etc. And we've covered a lot of those here, and we're Flanny fans, right?
Yes.
Like, this is where we stand. So this is a little bit of a change up, though, because this is Stephen King without all of that, the horror elements or anything. It's probably going to be more akin to your Hearts in Atlantis, your Shawshanks, your Green Miles, Stand By Me, etc. As it's been labeled, the Castle Rock Stephen King. Now, this one I think is even more hard to consume, especially at first blush, because of its structure. But the crux of the movie, like every plot synopsis I think I saw literally just said like, essentially like, this is the life and times of a guy named Chuck. And it's like, thank you for nothing. So you go in kind of blind unless you have read the short story that King wrote not too long ago, by the way. But it's an odd structure. This is about The life and times of a guy named Chuck, from childhood all the way through into his age 39 wonderful years or great years, whatever it was. Stars Tom Hiddleston, also starring Mark Hamill, Mia Sara, and many different younger versions of Chuck and Chiwetel Ejiofor and a bunch of other people I really like. And of course, for anyone who knows Mike Flanagan, his wife, Kate Siegel, who we love from, again, most of his Netflix endeavors in this as well. I want to hear from you first, sir, because you kind of had this very visceral reaction. And I am there with you because this is a movie that the person I was with when we saw it, we left the theater and she said, I think I hated that. And then we talked about it in the car. And then the next day she messages me and she goes, I think I really like that now. And I actually kind of want to watch it again. So I think this movie, it can do that to someone. And I will quote the legend Sean Fennessy, one of the best critics out there now, where he said, I agreed to let this movie have me. And I think you need to have that attitude to at least let this movie do what it's going to do. But I also think that this movie could and should age better with more viewings. But I still want to hear what your first reactions on first viewing for Life of Chuck.
Yeah, no, this is the first movie in a long time, and I mean long time, that I didn't see a trailer for. I didn't know anything about it except for you had it on your list when you came up with your list, and you explained it to me, the cast and everything. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go check. Because, again, I'm a huge Mike Flanagan fan. I'm going to go check this out.
Yeah.
And it does grab you right away because the third chapter was probably the hardest chapter to not even get through is the wrong word, but kind of like see where this movie was going and trying to figure stuff out. And it great by Karen Gillan, right?
Karen Gillan, yeah.
Yeah, Gillan, and I can never pronounce the guy's name.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, thank you.
Which many years ago, I think when he was in the Old Guard or something, I had to look it up because I didn't want to butcher that name. So shout out to Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, he plays a character named Marty, so I'm just going to refer to him as Marty from now on. Right?
You got it.
So we get introduced with that, and like California's like sliding off and no internet. Which there are some really funny scenes when he's doing the teacher-parent conference, and they're like. The whole Pornhub conversation had me dying.
Wonderful. Yeah.
It was
Jess
great.
Malkian is a man for that. That is amazing. Yeah.
And then you get like the billboards with Chuck, and we get introduced, and everyone's like, why is this happening? And not, it's a very great, it's a very good chapter, but you're sitting there like, where is this movie going? Like, what is going on?
Yeah. It feels like a glitch in the Matrix, and it kind of is.
Yeah. But I still dug it. And then for me, I really sank in with chapter 2.
Of course.
That's to me the highlight of we get to meet Chuck. He's in his presumably 30s, walking through like a strip outdoor mall. And there's how do you pronounce it? Busketeer?
Just a busker. Yeah.
Busker.
Yeah.
Just drumming away. And he ends up, simultaneously, we meet this girl, Janice, who like breaks up. The redhead that breaks up with her boyfriend breaks up with the internet. Greatly narrated by Nick Offerman, by the way. This movie.
We'll get to that. I always love hearing his voice, but I do feel like the movie could use either less or no narration and still be the same movie.
Yeah, but I did enjoy that with these two characters in that moment, right? So, fine. And then, she's trying to make a living, trying to make money, and all of a sudden, Chuck starts like his dance routine, and then he pulls Janice in for a great, seemed like 10-minute routine. Yeah. Really just enjoyed that whole thing. Yeah. And then like, here's where like I started, like I'm sitting there watching it, and like when the drummer asks him why he decided to listen and dance, like I started welling up a little bit. And then like the whole conversation with Janice over the bridge, and they had this nice walk, like I started fucking welling up again. And then it was full blown when they flashed to Mia Sara playing his grandmother. Like you found out how he learned to dance, the connection with the grandmother and all that stuff. I just started freaking losing it right there. And can we just can we talk how lovely Mia Sara is now? I think she's way more attractive and appealing now than she was like in Ferris Bueller and Time Cop.
So much character. The silver hair just works on her. I am so envious, male or female, of if you age into that level and it just works with your luscious locks, just integrated and just like amazing. And she's adorable. She
was great. Yeah.
Delightful.
Very adorable. And we get to see, we know what happens to Chuck's parents, and you meet Mark Hamill, the grandfather and grandmother, and that whole dynamic. And you get introduced to the upstairs, I forget what they call it,
I don't remember. It's a Victorian house, and it's just that top piece that they're, it's guarded off with a door that's locked and not allowed to go in. Yep.
But like then then now we're in chapter 1, and we get to see his life with his grandparents and how he gravitated towards dance, and his whole meeting his future wife, and just that whole thing was so great and wonderful. And you finally, when you get to the third act, you finally figure out what's up there. And once that happened, that broke me down. The whole teacher, Katie Seagal, with that poem, or when he was asking her like what this means and stuff, the latitudes.
Yeah, it was a Walt Whitman poem.
Yeah, Walt Whitman poem. Yeah. So beautiful, man. This movie works on so many levels. Like, you got your existentialism in there. It makes you think. It makes you appreciate life. It makes you like just all these things converge into one. But like, you really have to pay attention because like it runs these characters through. Because at first I'm like, did he time travel? Like, did he time travel? Like, what is going? Because you see Marty's character. I'm like, that seems so long. Like, but my take was they didn't remember him as a student. Is what I took out of it. They didn't.
Yeah. This nonlinear structure that the movie has really messes with your brain early on, to where even some of those sweet, saccharine, like very human touching moments can get a little lost because you're still just processing. And that's why I was saying, like, I think if I watch this movie again, I would just be like blown away actually a little bit more.
Right. So this movie accomplished a lot of things. It made me smile, it made me laugh, and it made me tear up and cry several times, which is like 3 times too many for me at a movie.
Yeah.
So when I got done, I was like, God damn, Andrew, like, what the? Because I was just like still like like trying to dry my eyes before I walked out of the theater. I'm like, what the hell?
But to be fair to me, this is Mike Flanagan, and you know what Flanagan does. Did you not cry watching Haunting of Hill House? Because I sure did.
Not like this though. I don't know. This movie kind of hit me. This movie kind of hit me in different ways. And yes, it does deserve a second showing, but I think I told you I need to space this one out. Like, I need
emotionally
to space
recover.
It out. Yeah, because I think just based on the 3rd chapter, I want to watch it again to see how that kind of fits or doesn't fit in with the whole theme of everything. So overall, though, just a fucking delight to see in the theater, and I'm glad I saw it. Tom Hiddleston, like everyone, Mark Hamill, Mia Sara, the kids who played younger Chuck, Tom Hiddleston was great. I think they just nailed the cast. Everyone was just top notch, and man, and it's a shame because based on the box office, which I'm sure you'll talk about, no one saw this movie.
Nope. Unfortunately, they did not. I remember I was surprised. I looked at like say the early like Friday stuff, and it was like, oh wow, Materialists is actually making more money than I thought, and it was a certain number. I forget what it was, but then I was like, oh, how is Life of Chuck doing? It made $1 million on Friday, and I was just like, so. And usually Friday means the combo of Thursday night previews and Friday, so it's like, damn it. So it's tough.
All right, before you launch into because I want to hear what you think.
Sure.
I think for Flanagan's, like, he did Dr. Sleep, but this is like his second big screen movie, right? Everything else has been small screen, correct?
No, just in general.
For Flanagan adapting something, right? He only did Dr. Sleep as his first theatrical release, right? That he directed?
Oh, I mean, he's done a lot like that were smaller, that maybe had small theatrical runs or were straight to streaming. Because he has Before I Wake... Right? Was that Netflix movie he did? He did Oculus, Hush.
Right.
And I think those were, again, smaller. Gerald's Game, Netflix. Right,
but I'm talking like big screen stuff. I think it's like this is second, or maybe Oculus had a short theater run, maybe. But to me, this is his best effort as far as putting some on the big screen. To me, this is like his A level on the
as
big
far
screen.
as like just being more cinematic, like and being
yeah.
worthy of a big screen release.
Yeah, sitting in the theater, watching it in a movie theater. I think this is his best effort as far as that goes.
I think that's probably true, only because Dr. Sleep's best version is his director's cut, which you don't see, obviously, the first go-round.
Correct.
So there is that. And like you said, I didn't know who he was until he was probably starting to do the Netflix stuff. So, or Dr. Sleep and then into the Netflix stuff. So him to do Hush, Oculus, all those other ones beforehand, I caught those after he was already somebody. So
Gotcha.
that's on me. But, that's also kind of how small those movies were. But I think as far as those kind of releases, I have to agree with you with that. This movie, it's a little, it's so hard to get your mind. I kind of I agree with a lot of what you said. I thought the performances were great. I think if there's any detractors on this movie, it's the tough kind of comeback that you do coming off of the nonlinear structures, starting with the end and going backwards and kind of making sense of it as you're going on, will affect your first time viewing. And I think that can mess with you a little bit as far as like enjoying it and letting it really seep in. But the highs are awesome. I thought I would probably lie down the street for Benjamin Pajak, who was the middle school kind of version of him. That kid is delightful, adorable. He had like such chemistry with not only the other child characters who he has to really bond with doing the dance class and everything with those sequences, but also your Mia Sarahs and Mark Hamill's and everybody else that he has to interact with that make it believable and make you care, because to this point we haven't seen Hiddleston. Hiddleston is a very small part of this movie. It's integral and like amazing, especially like you said with the dance sequence and all those things. Like it's so engaging and feels magical, like in the middle of this movie, that you're just like, oh my God, but that's it. He seems like, I don't know. It's this mystical quality that you have and that like it just raises you up a level and really takes you on. So it's so hard to quantify what this movie is, because I think each chapter means something different to you. So I think the structure will get to you, but I think ultimately it's a very worthy movie. But I agree that it's a little tough because the third act, I think, is probably the weakest, or not, excuse me. The third act of the movie, but what is that, chapter 2, is kind of the weakest chapter. So it makes me want to watch it again, but I think there is a flow issue at times with it to make it be like this outstanding movie that I wanted it to be, because it won the audience award at TIFF. I wanted it to be like, is this movie going to be in the Oscar conversation kind of level of a movie? And I don't think it gets there, but when it's at its best, I understand exactly why people connected with it on that big enough level in Toronto to even get it to where it is here. So I think it's going to be so tough for this movie to survive when it made only a few $1 million. It took 2.3 domestically over the weekend. So that's not great. So it has a destination of hopefully hitting an audience on streaming. I think if it does get to Netflix and they can kind of put it through the Flanagan machine, maybe it'll get a new life with that, and people will just be like, wow, how did nobody watch this movie? How did this get lost? And I think part of it is, again, this is an odd kind of summer release, but again, you can argue the counter programming, right? But it's kind of like you're also trapped in other counter programming's vortex where Phoenician Scheme is still making money as much as it's going to. And then Materialists, we'll talk about in a second, made 15.5 worldwide this weekend for a small movie, a small, indie romance, by the same distributor, by the way.
Yep.
So that and Life of Chuck had to compete literally for the same love and marketing dollars. It didn't have a chance. But what's weird is when I was in the movie, it was full.
Oh.
So I wonder if maybe it's not a lot of screens. I didn't look into that. Like its per screen numbers might be good. So maybe it's still going wider, like it's platforming. But I don't know. Like this movie, I know it went limited the week before, but I know, this is the widest it's been, and still to only make that amount is not great.
Right.
So, because I think it was acquired maybe for more than that.
Yeah. I would say, though, people out there, if you don't see it in the theater, which you should, definitely watch it when it comes out to Netflix or whatever it comes out to, because it is one of the better movies you'll see this year, for sure.
Yeah, and just hope that you are right with your emotional state. Because while not the movie entirely will just beat you up, but I think there are a lot of moments in the movie that can...
Oh, yeah.
Because I think to a person, you might be like, which was the part that made you either tear up or whatever first or at all or whatever. I think you can make several different conversations in this movie. Like, oh, well, I could say... Oh, well, man, I was devastated by all the kind of world-ending stuff that was happening in the beginning because I feel a lot of that emotions right now between environmental issues and political stuff going on and whatever else, like all this devastation. You're just like, God, I felt that. I really felt that. And then you're like, is that the worst of it? Buckle up. But what's weird is that I teared the most in a happy moment.
What was the happy moment?
The middle school dance.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
I put myself in his shoes. That's why.
Right.
Because I've been there. That middle school anxiety of like, nobody wants to see me dance. Nobody wants to see me succeed. I'm just some little nerd in the corner. This girl's an 8th grader. Like, I'm out of my depth. Even though I know what I'm doing and I should be able to have all the confidence in the world, you just can't get there. And for him to struggle, I was just like, I get it. And then for him to triumph, it finally broke me at the triumph.
Yeah. No, that's a great scene. I can definitely say that's like my scene. Like they're just talking. It's dialogue, walking over a bridge, talking about life and just like, and how much they kind of cared for each other, being total strangers. Like just... them hanging out having fucking coffee at the end, and like it was just so great, man. Like I just like, again, just I was like, oh, what is like? I felt like Seinfeld. What's the salty discharge coming out of my eyes? So yeah, I'll give you my grade real quick. I gave it a 4. I gave it a solid 4, like a solid 4.
I think I'm caught in between. I think I'm gonna say 3.5, but it's like I said. I think.
Whoa.
I think I would like
you did.
I know, and that's why I love that your complaint with me is that I made you feel feelings and not like that I made you to go to something bad. So that I'll take all day. Oh, the robot sprung a leak. Excuse me. But yeah, so I think this is a 3.5. Where because of the excessive use of not necessary voiceover and the structure that it took me so long to like kind of get into it all and know what I'm doing here, I think that's going to hold me back from completely putting my arms around it. But with that said, this is probably still like, a top 10 movie of the year.
Oh yeah, for sure. For me, yeah.
So that's enough unto itself. And I love that Flanagan felt so much. I've seen interviews with him. He's so sincere and he just knows the kind of times we're living in and that he knows people will go into this with a certain level of like, snark or, is this corny or is this sincere and good? Can people be like this? And I think Stephen King goes through that himself. Because look at how much bitterness and like sarcasm and stuff that he has in all his writing. And so for him to write something like this says something too. So I think they're like very akin, so I'm glad that he's the one to adapt it, because he's the one who felt it and he's the one who translated it. And I would say I just like this episode, I was kind of want to be like, is this the beginning of like Oscar conversations between these three movies? And I will just start the conversation to be like, I don't see one nomination between any of them, but that doesn't mean they're all bad.
Right.
As we've kind of been talking here.
Right.
I think Wes Anderson is always like a screenplay thought, but I think it's too much of a loaded year. So I don't know if he'll get into original. And Life of Chuck, this is a heck of an adaptation, but again, unless it's a very light year, but I don't think it is in that category. I don't think he'll get there. But I think because it's so spread out and so many different people playing various versions, that I don't think, and if it's box office, obviously, people have to see it to enjoy it. So I think this might get lost in the shuffle, unfortunately. So I hope if you're listening out there, see it while you can in the theaters, and if not, definitely once it gets on home video of sorts, streaming, PVOD, check it out. Give it a chance and enjoy. At least I can't imagine anyone coming out of this movie going, I didn't take away something. Right,
correct. You're going to like something about this movie.
Absolutely. But then there's the Materialists, excuse me. Celine's song, a person who I absolutely loved Past Lives. I was so looking forward to this movie because I wanted to see, it's always great to see like the follow-up to somebody's like great opening movie, like the introduction to that artist. And this movie has a 3.4 Letterboxd, a 7.0 IMDb, and a 73 Metascore, and was starting to do good bucks before I saw it on Sunday. So I was like, man, maybe this is something. Maybe this is like the indie romance drama person that people are really latching on to, almost like how you saw Coogler succeed, because it's like, oh, well, he's that kind of director that people would just watch all his stuff, And so I appreciated that people were supporting this movie. And it's got a great lead cast as far as like people I've liked in the past: Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal. And it's about a matchmaker in New York who deals with high-end matchmaking as well, people who make large sums of money or want to attach themselves to someone with large sums of money, or people who are looking with high-end jobs, all these things. The real Manhattan experience, right? Here's the thing. I came out of that movie and I was like, this felt more like a philosophical discussion that was talking past me or over me more than a romantic conversation between characters. And I had a hard time caring about the outcome of what happens to Dakota Johnson as a character, because I didn't actually, at the end of the day, like her or engage with her. And I felt she was quite wishy-washy, self-absorbed at times, occasionally cold, often cold. You can make an argument.
Yeah.
Who, yes, I realize there's a progression in the character, but I think it either came too late or with the wrong foot forward, or just I couldn't quite get around what is the point of following this person? What am I supposed to get out of it? And unfortunately, while you're on that journey, you have to deal with sitting with, and again, the film reckons with it, but you have to deal with the most vapid piece of shit, elitist pricks that you ever seen in a movie in a long time, that make you just want to roll your eyes or throw something at the screen. And so I think even with all the like gorgeous backdrop of Manhattan, it's great to see it shot in New York. Like, that's always cool, but it just is a big step back for me from Past Lives, because that had so much humanity, drama, yearning, emotion, that I was just like, God, where's that? And also, if you dump Pedro Pascal, you have to have a better reason than whatever they fucking came up.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad we're on the same page. I'm not familiar. I didn't see the first movie from this director.
Past Live,
so here's a quick little funny anecdote. So I was so lost in the sauce. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I knew Chris Evans was in the movie. Right. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be a murder mystery. Because I didn't see the trailer for this either.
Yeah. Okay.
I honestly thought this was Honey Don't. I thought I was seeing Honey Don't.
Oh, okay.
The Coen brothers, right? Joel Coen. I swear to God, Andrew, I'm sitting there, I'm like, and then 10 minutes in, I'm like, I don't think this is the movie I think it is.
Nope.
And I went to my phone and I read the description. I'm like, what? And I'm like, well, here I am. I'm going to finish the ride.
I did have a moment to where I was like, so this motherfucker's not going to see the new Wes Anderson, but he's going to see Materialists?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Totally accidental. I thought I was seeing Honey Don't. That's in my brain. That's what I was there to see. And I saw the Materialists Materialists instead.
Yeah.
And I thought you were going to make a joke at the intro about me having to add 6 inches to my height for some reason.
Damn. That probably would have been good. Yeah. That kind of freaked me out. Kind of.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So here's, I agree with you. I got bored with this movie often towards the end. I'm like, I don't see the point of this movie. I thought she was too cold and too callous and too calculated because she always talked about, oh, it's just math, do the math. I didn't think she had any real fucking feelings. Yeah. They never portrayed her to make that turn at the end where I fucking believed it. And do I ever think she would end up with Chris Evans? No, I don't. I don't think she would have ever made that choice.
No.
Based on what we knew about her from the movie, she would have went with Pedro Pascal all day.
Totally.
But I wish they would have, again, not knowing anything about this movie, I wish they would have injected at least some humor in there or something for me to connect with any of these characters. I really did relate to Chris Evans. If I could put myself in anyone's spot, it would have been Chris Evans.
Sure.
Struggling guy, making a living. But the scene that sealed it for me, like, that's me, is when they were driving around New York on their anniversary and he was like bitching about paying $25 for parking. He's going to park the car around the corner.
Yeah.
That's me all day. That is me all day. And he even said it in the movie, goes like, I get angry about stupid shit, like.
Sure.
But no, I thought Chris Evans was good. It's always nice to see him in a non-MCU role, which I think he always does a fairly good job at that.
They sidelined him for so long in this movie.
They did. But again, you didn't connect to these characters at all. The movie just felt cold.
Yeah.
It just felt unemotional. And even the little side drama story they threw in there with something goes wrong with their clients, I'm like, okay.
It felt so forced.
Yeah, it felt forced. And again, I did not care about Dakota Johnson's character at all. I did not have anything invested in her. I just thought she was a cold bitch. And it was an okay movie, but I left saying, wow, that was way too long. And I just didn't care about the characters.
It seemed like it just wanted to interrogate certain things about modern love or modern romance or what people look for in this tech-heavy kind of a thing. I've heard it's a scathing takedown of like how Hollywood acts and runs, I guess, behind the scenes too. Great. I don't care. Give me character and story first. You're giving me platitudes. These people talked like in philosophical ways, not in an enjoyable way like the Before movies.
Right.
And instead, it was killing me. It was just absolutely killing me.
It's like you said, make it about characters and stuff. Like, give me a fucking Ed Burns, like, New York made movie.
Sidewalks in New York or what was that one he made before that? Fuck.
She's the One. Like, give me.
Yeah, sure.
Give me something, right? Like, this movie just was not enjoyable. It just was not enjoyable at all.
Yeah. Plus, the conversations are just
odd.
Like in a way, I enjoyed seeing some of the ugliness of it, and I could kind of at least ride with that a little bit to be like, because you and I unfortunately got tossed back out into the pool at some point to where we're doing the dating thing, and I at least I saw it, and even the woman I'm dating now told me like she sits amongst people in a women's haircutting what am I, salon scenario kind of a thing, people talking and all those things, and just people, just naively being like, I need the 666 person. I'm like, what the hell is that? You want a devil worshiper? What's talking about? And it's like, oh no, you need above 6 feet, 6-pack and 6 figures. And I'm like, oh God damn it. So like, you literally, like me at 5'11", I sat so long, like, should I just put it 6 foot just to see what happens? Like, it's so stupid, right? Like, this is the kind of, and this is the elite of the elite version, where it's like, like that woman who basically brought a resume, it's like, Camp Frankenstein. I enjoyed that. The problem is, I didn't fully believe the turn, because if she's been doing this job for so long, I can understand a burnout. I can understand all those things. Man, did it feel just so fast and so loose of how it goes. So I don't know. I just didn't. I think in a different way, I can't deny some of the conversations or some of the things that it tries to put across. I just think the story that goes with it and the characters that are designed around it just don't grab me.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree.
So I don't even know what's because it's so sad. It's so beautiful. The people are beautiful. It's people I like. So I'm like, it's hard for me to like get below a 3, but I'm very tempted to, like a 2.5, 3.
Yeah, it's one of these things where if I were to do your cheat code, it'd be a 2.75.
Totally, it's a soft 3, strong 2.5, somewhere around there.
Because we don't do that, I'll be nice because it does have very beautiful people in it. I'll give it a soft 3.
And Pascal is charming as hell. Like in a different world, you're watching this movie and going, yeah, you can live with him and just be totally fine. Like I don't think they did a good enough job to show why she really wants the kind of, struggling low rent version of a life, when all she talked about, even to Chris Evans' face in their younger versions, everything was money. I don't want to live and eat out of like, carts and cheap restaurants and whatever. It's like, God damn, get over yourself. And the hardest thing for this movie to get over, and I want to say it because I said this to my girlfriend when we watched it, and she was like, absolutely. And they don't address it until it's late in the movie. I was like, 1, no fucking way you make only $80,000. That's number 1.
Correct.
You dress, you act, you have all these things. You completely hold yourself like you make 6 figures minimum.
She's making 6 figures, yeah.
Minimum. And then the other end of that, you don't need to live in his shitty apartment with his shitty roommates. I assume you live somewhere. You don't live in a box. So why can't he move in with you? Why can't you live like why couldn't you be the strong breadwinner in a movie that is literally about all these elite people all the time? Like, what fucking struggle are you having here? And I just couldn't get there. I was just like, couldn't just support this guy?
I thought the same thing. And when they were having that at the end of the movie, I'm like, wait a minute. She just sublet her apartment, which is way nicer than the 3 roommates you're living with. Like, why don't you tell him to move in with you?
Yeah. Or kick his roommates out. It's rent controlled.
Yeah, I don't understand why it had to be the revert. Like, he had to like have her
undercuts the whole conversation in the movie.
Yep.
And especially with the people at the center of the frame. It undercuts the whole movie. Especially when she knows his struggle. She was an actress. Like, it undercuts the whole thing. So I just wanted to just shake this movie. I was like, there's so many elements that like make sense and can be enjoyable, but it's like just out of sequence, wrong footed. I just couldn't get there. Fuck it. You know what? Give it a 2.5. No, just kidding. I'm still in the same score, but like there were just things that just gnawed at me, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. But I'm hoping for better stuff ahead, Shane. We got 28 years later. The first of a trilogy, right? That's where we're sitting here. And I think the second one is either like the very, very beginning, like January, February of 2026. So we're going to have a quick turnaround on this. So they need this to work. We need this to work. Because if we want to keep following this, it's like, oh no. I don't want to keep following a crappy trilogy. So a lot of things riding on that. We'll get into more of that. I think I told you I did the rewatch recently, so a lot of that's pretty fresh. We could talk about where we rank stuff and play that all fun game that we
fun
do.
Stuff.
Yeah, so hopefully this will work out better for us next week. Anything else you want to put out there before we ship on down the line?
That's about it, buddy. That's all we got. This is the movie I'm pinning everything on this week, so let's go.
Well, I'm proud of you for getting through this week. I am proud that you didn't walk out of the theater with Materialists being like, this is not mysterious at all.
No,
these are just terrible people.
Charlie Day's supposed to be in this movie.
Right,
What is going on?
Yeah. But the Chris Evans crossover will get you every time. So sorry that happened to you, buddy. Way to stick it through. I'm glad we were on the same page. That's great, too.
Yes, yeah.
Always a fun one. But yes, everybody out there, give some support to Wes Anderson, Mike Flanagan, and the movies that we did champion this week. And also champion us as well. Tell a friend.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Check us out on the socials. We've been putting breakout clips recently from these episodes. So if you want to see our shining faces, if you're listening to us on the podcast, of course, check us out. See us, the sexiness, whether it's the, the fact that I called you like the offensive coordinator for the Jets, or me like grown up Bobby Hill or whatever when they animated us. It was very weird. But go out, check that at Recent Act Pod on the socials, and be sure to come back next week for more recent activity.